Automatic transmissions don't just die, they get murdered, slowly, by the people driving them. I've been a mechanic for over 20 years. I run my own shop, 8 guys working with me, and every single week I watch someone's gearbox come in on a flatbed because of something they did, without knowing they were doing it. Not freak failures, not bad luck, habits. Normal, everyday habits that feel completely harmless until you're staring at a $4,000 repair bill. 5 of them. I'm going to walk you through all 5, show you exactly what's happening inside, and tell you how to stop doing it, starting today. One thing I see every single week is people flicking from drive to reverse before the car's properly stopped. Usually in a driveway, a tight parking space, doing a quick little 3-point turn. Then, a few months later, they come in and tell me it started slamming into gear. And it's not because the car suddenly got moody, it's been getting worn down bit by bit. Here's what's going on, in normal people terms. Inside the transmission, you've got parts spinning one way in drive, and you're asking it to suddenly stop and spin the other way in reverse while the car's still rolling. The transmission clutches and bands have to fight that momentum. That creates a big spike in friction, and friction makes heat. Heat is what quietly cooks transmissions over time. And yeah, I hear the same line a lot. It's just rolling a little, or modern cars won't let you do it. Some cars do block reverse if you're going too fast, around 5 miles an hour, give or take. But that low speed roll, it still counts. And the damage is cumulative. You don't feel it today, you pay for it later. Where it tends to end up is, first it's a harsh bump going into gear, then the friction material wears, then it starts slipping, then it overheats, and now we're having the rebuild conversation. So do this instead. Brake to a dead stop, full stop. Then give it half a beat, literally a moment, then shift. If you feel that little bump or thunk when you drop it into drive or reverse, that's your cue you're rushing it. Quick self-test. If your car ever clunks into drive or reverse during quick maneuvers, you're basically spending clutch life to save half a second, and the transmission is always the one that remembers. The other one I see all the time is parking on a hill and using only P. Then the customer comes back and says, it's really hard to get it out of park. Or the car gives a little lurch when they shift out of park on an incline. That's not the gearbox being moody. That's the car's weight sitting on one small part inside the transmission. Because park isn't a brake. It's basically a small metal pawl that drops into a gear to lock the transmission. And it's trying to hold up a couple of tons of vehicle. The average car these days is around 4,400 pounds, and plenty of trucks are well over 5,000. If you let the car roll and catch on that pawl, you're loading it up like a crowbar. Over time, you can wear that pawl, mess up the linkage, and in worst cases, it can break. If it breaks, it can leave debris inside the transmission, and that's really a quick, cheap fix. The common mistake is you stop, you shift to park, you let off the brake, and the car rolls that last inch and settles on the pawl. You'll feel it. That little thud, that's the weight landing. Do it this way instead, every time on a hill. Keep your foot on the brake, shift to neutral, set the parking brake firmly, then let the car settle onto the parking brake. After that, shift into park. Now the parking brake is holding the car, and park is just a backup lock like it was meant to be. And a quick reality check. If you never use your parking brake, it can seize up or get weak right when you finally need it. Regular use is honestly preventative. My dad drilled this into me when I was 16, first week driving, San Francisco hills. He had me park and repark until that sequence was just muscle memory. Annoying at the time, very helpful later. One thing I see all the time is transmissions giving up right after the warranty's done. Customer swears the car's been looked after, then we check the transmission fluid and it's dark, smells burnt, and it's never been serviced because the book said lifetime. Here's the translation. Lifetime often means the lifetime of the warranty, not the lifetime of the car. And it's not just me saying that. ZF, the company that builds a lot of the automatics for BMW and others, recommends fluid changes around 50 to 60,000 miles. That's a long way from never. Transmission fluid isn't just oil. It's the hydraulic fluid that makes it shift, it lubricates, and it carries heat away. And heat is what finishes them off. They're happiest roughly 175 to 225 Fahrenheit. Get above about 240 and the fluid starts breaking down. Around 260, seals start going hard. A fluid service is usually 100 to 250. A rebuild, commonly 1500 to 7 grand, and posh stuff can be 10. Now, this will surprise some of you. If your car's very high mileage and that fluid has never been touched, don't go in with an aggressive power flush. Start with a simple drain and fill, maybe done in stages, so you're not shocking the system and stirring up every bit of debris at once. And I'm curious, how many miles are on your car right now, and when was the last time anyone changed the transmission fluid? Drop it in the comments. I read them, and some of your stories are, honestly, impressive. Last tip, use the correct fluid spec. Red is how perfectly good transmissions get bricked. Another one I see a lot, especially after heavy rain, is, it drove fine yesterday. Today, it won't move. And when I ask what changed, it's usually, well, I did go through a flooded bit of road, but it was only a puddle. Here's the thing, an automatic transmission has a vent. It has to breathe. When it gets hot, then cools down, it can actually pull water in through that vent. It's not some mysterious seal failure, it's just how they're built. And it doesn't take much. Even a small amount of water in the fluid can mess with the friction materials inside. The ATF turns cloudy and milky, looks like a strawberry milkshake. Had a mate bring his Jeep round last month after he just drove through a bit of a puddle. Opened up the transmission and it looked like someone poured a strawberry milkshake in there. Rule of thumb, around 6 inches of water can stall a car and around 12 inches can float a lot of vehicles. If it's high enough that you're thinking about it, don't push through to get home and don't sit there revving it. If you did go through water, check the transmission fluid as soon as you can. If it's milky, foamy or cloudy, stop driving. And if the car was genuinely flooded, don't start it. Starting it circulates contamination everywhere. One more thing, used cars. In 2024, about 347,000 vehicles were flood damaged and some get cleaned up and resold. Quick checks. Musty smell that keeps coming back, especially through the AC, a water line in the trunk or spare wheel well, fogged headlights, or silt and sand under the carpets and seats. Flat towing behind an RV is one of those things that sounds harmless, right up until it isn't. I had a bloke come in Tuesday, lovely retired couple, first big RV trip out to Yellowstone. They towed their Honda behind them for about 400 miles, flat, no dolly. Told me, we had it in neutral so it should be fine. Got home, unhooked it, and it barely moved under its own power. Here's the bit most people don't realize. Neutral doesn't always mean the gearbox is being looked after. On a lot of automatics, the fluid only properly circulates when the engine's running. So you're rolling down the road with parts spinning, but without the right flow of oil to cool and lubricate. That's when clutches get cooked, seals get hard, and things start failing in expensive ways. So the rules are pretty simple. Only flat tow if the owner's manual for that exact year says you can. Follow the exact steps. Some cars need a specific gear position, some need fuses pulled, some want the engine run every so often. If it's not approved, use a dolly or a trailer. It's annoying, but it's cheaper. And one more reality check. Towability changes year to year. Same model isn't good enough. If any of this is saving you from a bill you didn't see coming, hit subscribe. I share this sort of real-world stuff straight from the shop, and a like helps other people dodge the same mistakes. Alright, let's wrap it up. Alright, quick wrap up, because most of the automatic gearbox deaths I see aren't some weird mystery failure. It's usually heat, shock loads, and dirty fluid. Normal habits, week in, week out. If you look after them, plenty of these boxes will go 150,000 to 200,000 miles without any drama. Neglect them, and I've seen them give up well before 100,000. Same car, different treatment. So here's the save yourself thousands list in one breath. Come to a dead stop before drive to reverse. Use the parking brake first, then park on hills. Change the transmission fluid on a sensible schedule. Treat standing water like a mechanical risk, And never flat tow unless your owner's manual says that exact car is approved. One more shop mistake before you go: rocking the car in snow or mud. What kills it is hammering drive and reverse with throttle while everything's still loaded up. That shock and heat builds fast. Stop fully between shifts, use light throttle and limit your attempts. If it's not improving, get a tug. I did 4 years of rally driving back in the day. You'd think I'd know better, but I still caught myself doing this last winter trying to get my truck out of a ditch at the shop. 2 seconds of patience and a $150 service beats a $4,000 rebuild every single time. Don't donate your transmission to my workshop.